What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. This is your Monday motivational video for your day. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was spent with family and friends, and it's still ongoing. I'm going to be hanging out a little later, so hopefully that'll be fun. It's been a pretty long weekend. Trying to stay productive, motivated, encouraged, and I want to transfer that energy to you guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. If I've got any fathers on my channel, I hope you guys had a great Father's Day yesterday. I spent the day with my family, my dad. We went out to eat. It was really, really nice. Had tons of gut curling laughter with my mom because I always tend to set my mom up to play around with the filters on my Snapchat, and I literally had her in stitches. That was funny. So and no, I didn't catch the moment at all. It was just like an in the moment thing while I was trying to take pictures with my dad. So that was really nice. But anyway, you guys, I feel like a lot of people are in this season of transitioning. And no, I don't mean transitioning, pass it away. I mean, like, people are in a season, I think, right now of change, right? And as the seasons change, we change. Situations change, mindsets change, circumstances change. And so one thing that I notice is that, depending on, I feel like a lot of whenever like me and my friends go through stuff, we always go through things at the exact same time. And I'm talking about my whole circle. Like, we may not go through the same thing, but we always going through something. And so this is definitely a season of change. And change is good. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but being comfortable is not a good thing. And I used to hate change. I used to hate change because I didn't want to either start over, or I didn't want to learn something new, or I was too comfortable with where I was and I didn't want anything to change. And back then, I didn't understand the importance of change. I didn't understand the importance of not being comfortable. I didn't understand what it meant to be uncomfortable. And so when I started getting back into my faith and I started, praying and reading my Bible and learning about meditating and things like that, I started to understand why it's important to shift. And when it's time for you to elevate, when it's time for you to be brought out of something and into something new, your surroundings are going to become very uncomfortable, And for me, I knew that there was a change when I had a lot going on around me, I had a change in my relationship. I had a change with my transportation because my car got totaled. I had a shift in, I didn't have a shift in my faith, but I had a friend who got murdered all within a couple of months, within the same year. And not only did I have a change in that relationship, but I had a lot of heartbreak, a lot of trauma. And I was like, whoa. And I'm going to explain to you guys how I felt then from a spiritual standpoint, from a religious standpoint, without getting in too deep, because I want to respect those who, have your own beliefs. But for me, at that point, I felt like God was stripping things away from me that I was holding on to, right? I felt like God was stripping away things that I did not want to let go of, things that did not serve me any purpose anymore. I felt like I was being stripped away from all the things that I thought that I needed and wanted in order for Him to have my full attention. In order for me to elevate into my next level, He needed to make me so uncomfortable that I had no choice but to let go and allow things to be the way that he wanted them to be. Okay. And so at that point, I lost my car. I had to walk away from a long traumatic relationship, which was the best thing that I've ever did, but it was the hardest thing, and I had to say goodbye to a really good friend who didn't deserve to get her life taken away from her, all within a couple of months, right? And on top of that, I had to find a place to live. So when I tell you I felt like I was in the wilderness, in the dark. Everything around me was chaotic. I was in the dark. I didn't see any way. I didn't see any light. I didn't see anything. And it was just me and God. I was like, all right. And I felt like God was looking down at me like, are you done now? Can I step in and do what I got to do and show you how much better your life can be if you just allow me to shift you from here to there? And so that's what I had to do. And so sometimes when you are being moved to a higher calling, whatever that may be, whether it is a new position at your job, whether it's letting go of a toxic relationship, whether it's changing your mindset of how you deal with your health. Maybe you had a health scare and it landed you at the doctor's office or in a hospital, and that was your wake-up call. Like, you know what? Damn, I really got to change the way I eat, or I have to really, start taking care of myself mentally and emotionally, because a lot of the times we stress so much about things that haven't happened. We stress so much about the what ifs. We stress a lot about the things that are currently going on. We don't make our peace a priority, and that's a problem. And so we tend to always worry about everything else, worry about everyone else, and put ourselves last. And then we get the short end of the stick when something happens to us, when we have an empty cup that we can't pour from, when we are not complete, when we are not whole, when we are not 100% ourselves. And, I just honestly feel like we have got to make ourselves a high priority in this season, okay? You have got to get your mind right. You have got to let go of things that don't serve you any purpose or any benefit. For me, I sometimes still don't understand why things happen the way that they did at the time that they did, but I'm glad that they did, because I'm in a much better place now. I'm in a much better relationship. I am in a healthier state of mind. I was blessed by some whatever to be able to purchase a car at the end of that same year that I lost one. I'm an entrepreneur now. Like, my life has elevated. And so the more I grow, the more I understand why and how and when to move when things start to get shaken up. It's like I sit back and I try to analyze everything, and it's just like, okay, what lesson am I learning here? What is it that I need to take away from this? Where do I need to go from this? How do I need to move? I seek guidance. I meditate. I pray. I sit with myself. That's why I tell you guys it's so important to have moments of solitude, so you can actually have time to think about the things that are concerning you without any outside influences. No phone, no checking your email, no work. Even when you have a house full of people, go into a closet, a bathroom, somewhere where you can have a small bit of peace, just so you can sit with yourself and try to give yourself some clarity, or find some clarity to seek your direction and which way you need to go. It's hard. It's easier said than done. It took me, a long time to get to a place where I begin to understand when something's shifting, when something is changing, when something is moving, when it's time for me to let go of something. And so now, I was in such a stressful state a couple of years ago that now I'm at a point where I don't tolerate anything that causes me any type of detrimental stress. Yes, life will stress you out. Life will life you. Whether you're at a job, that's going to stress you out. If you have, a relationship where you're trying to figure something out, that's going to stress you out, because trying to figure things out is stressful. It's not easy. Healing is not easy. Changing your diet is not easy. Going to the gym and pushing yourself and motivating yourself to exercise, to have a better life isn't easy. None of this stuff is going to come easy. But the reward that comes from making these changes and doing the things that you have to do to better yourself so you can be in a better position in the next phase of your life is so much bigger than it not being easy. It's like you either pay for it now or you pay for it later. I prefer to pay for it now. I prefer to make the changes now than to pay for it later when, something happens or I'm not able to do the things that I'm doing now, or, it's going to be harder for me to make changes later. So, when you feel like you are in a season of change, take a look around and see what is changing, and then start asking yourself, okay, if I want to keep this, is it going to benefit me or not? Is it benefiting me now or not? If I let this go, you may not understand or even see what the benefit is of letting something go. But I'm telling you, things will become clear once you start allowing those changes to happen in your life. So, make sure that you put yourself first. Make sure that you are prioritizing yourself. Make sure that you are always taking care of yourself, no matter what that is. Career, finances, relationship, health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, whatever that looks like for you, make sure that you are taking full care of yourself. Putting yourself a priority is not being selfish. It's necessary, because at the end of the day, everything else, everyone else can fall apart, go away, and at the end of the day, all you have is you. So you have to make sure that you take care of yourself entirely, no matter what that looks like to anybody else, no matter how that makes sense or doesn't make sense to anybody else. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It has to make sense to you. It has to benefit you. And in order for you to make those positive changes, you have to do the work in order to get to the other side of whatever it is that you've got going on. All right. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a productive Monday. I hope you guys did have a productive Monday. If you went to work, if you had the day off, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. And as always, if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!